Yo, what's good, everybody? It is your boy, Golden Falls, Golden What If, whatever you want to call me. And yeah, I'm back. And yeah, sorry about the little extended break I had. Every so often I have these like little breaks. It was nothing serious. I was just like, wanted to take a step back, figure out what I was going to do. This channel is not going anywhere. And if you're listening to this, we're not going anywhere. Don't worry about it. But want to take a step back for a second, check out what I wanted to do exactly. This is What If Isagi Was the Perfect Player Part 2. And if you enjoy, as always, leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below. If you're on Spotify, leave a follow, a 5-star rating, all that good stuff. Everything supports me, supports the channel, all of it. Every single thing you do, I appreciate it. I appreciate all the love and support. And I'm not going to waste much more of your time because I want to get right into the next game. Let's get it. Isagi and Chigiri. That's who it's all about right now. Isagi and Chigiri are going to take on the next team more or less as a tandem. He tells Chigiri that they're going to take over this game with their speed. And Chigiri initially is hesitant, believing that he's not ready and that he believes that maybe, just maybe, everyone else is right. That he's not going to be the same. He's not going to be fast enough. He's no longer going to be the player he once was. But Isagi tells him that they're right. He's not going to be the player he once was, because he's going to be better than the player he once was. Isagi makes this very, very transparent. And when they step on that field against the Wanama twins, we have a different game. Would Isagi be able to dominate practically on his own and through team play destroy the Wanama twins? For sure. But wouldn't it be so much more fun to watch two absolute speedsters sprint down the field out of all hell? And that's exactly what they do. It's as if these two are the red Flash and the blue Flash, and they begin to both sprint down the field as Bachira would set them both up basically for goals and set them both up to more or less pass it between each other and make some insane tandem plays. They would pass between each other, setting each other up for beautiful goals that were unheard of. And let's just say someone right now is watching. Jinpachi Ego is watching as all of this is occurring, as all of this is going down. And he's watching as Isagi is creating a team of absolute monsters. Yeah, absolute monsters. And at the end of the day, he's pretty psyched about it, because there is no way around the fact that Isagi is doing his job for him, and Isagi is just proving more and more why he's the perfect player. From his skills, his speed, his intelligence, and even, well, his ability to make everyone else better. Isagi truly is the perfect player. And as they race down the field together, scoring goal after goal, and their defensive stops just more or less rely on Isagi and Chigiri just sprinting across the field and just raking havoc, is insane. It's an absolute beautiful spectacle. And the Wanama twins are just taken back by this, not knowing what to even do. I mean, what are they supposed to do? How are they going to stop this? The speed that they're showing, the coordination, all of it. But Chigiri himself is in complete and utter admittance that he wouldn't have been able to do this if he didn't step out of that gloomy shadow he was in initially. He finally stepped out. He finally stopped listening to the naysayers, and he finally started playing football once again. And this made him extremely grateful to Isagi, and Isagi tells him that it's really just part of the job. That at the end of the day, anybody else with a good heart would have done it too. In which is true, but Chigiri makes it pretty clear that Isagi's definitely a different type of person. Not many people would have gone out of their way to do such a thing, especially for a person they have no idea who they are in the long run. They have literally, he doesn't really know who Chigiri is, and not many people would go out of their way to truly help someone that they don't know. But Isagi says that he's here to be the best striker, and the best way for him to do that, well, is to make the others around him even greater, to make them better and better and better as they continue on throughout this time. Now, with all that said, Isagi tells them all that with this game behind them, they officially are in the next part of the selection. That Isagi and their team of Team Z, has officially bridged the gap, and it seems as if they are now on a consequential journey now to the next part of the selection, or the second selection. This next match doesn't matter. Isagi knows it, everyone knows it, and Isagi wouldn't take it 100% seriously in a way. But he would use this time and this next game, a game actually against another 3-0 team, to actually kind of evolve some other people. And he does this in a way of getting other people involved. And even with Nagi, Rayos, and Tetsu, the speed that they have, it's as if just having Isagi on the field on their side is a freaking cheat code. It is insane. It is unstoppable, and it feels like it's unfair. And it's pretty obvious that everyone believes this as well. That is just straight up unfair that Isagi can do the things he can do, and straight up unfair just what he's outputting. The offensive prowess and all of the above. It feels genuinely unfair what he's capable of. And when Nagi even tries to contest the soaring football coming through the sky, it seems as if, well, he can't even touch it. Isagi's there before him. Every single time they go for a ball, he's there. He meets him there quicker. He's always faster, always quicker, always higher, always everything. What is up with this guy? Nagi even feels this competition, even though, let's be honest, it's really not one. But he feels the competition, and he decides that he'll push himself even further. He'll push past whatever stupid little bit, that a little bit of ego or whatever he needs to get by. He'll somehow win, and this would eventually lead to a Nagi goal. And Isagi would be pretty impressed. He would be taken back by what this guy was able to do, but at the end of the day, it didn't really matter. It really didn't matter. But still, the end for Nagi and the end for the Team V would basically be over now. But it wouldn't be necessarily the end, because at the end of the day, well, it's kind of okay that they lost, because literally it's, time for them to go to the next selection, and they were both undefeated, so who really cares? But Nagi's just obsessed now with trying to beat Isagi. All he can think about is joining him, learning from him, or beating him. That's all he can think about now, and he's super obsessed with it, and it's giving him this drive and want to actually play, which is a great thing, because normally Nagi is a bit lazy. He doesn't like playing football. He doesn't like working, working out, all of the above. He's just not a big fan of effort. And I know I've been there too, but I've never, and I haven't. I could only strive for the constant laziness that Nagi portrays. Shout out to Nagi. That is insane. But still, Isagi sees that determination in Nagi's eyes, and he's interested. He wants to see what else Nagi can do, and maybe he'll get that chance sooner rather than later, but they'll have to see pretty soon. Because this is the end of the final game. The final game that would lead to the second selection. After some time would pass, they would listen to a speaker, as it would be Jinpachi Ego speaking to all of them. Ego would tell them all that they had pretty good time here, and that they've gone 4-0, so I mean, there's nothing too much to complain about, but there's always something to get better at. And he tells them all that they're going to do some physical training first, and then they will go on to the next stage of this whole blue lock kind of creation method, and he's going to basically polish them and make them true polished diamonds. And it all starts with this physical activity. They begin working out, training, and so on and so forth. And Isagi kind of feels alright about it. I mean, he doesn't feel too tired, feel too wrapped around it. He doesn't really mind. He thinks he's A-okay. And Isagi would watch as his teammates would more or less struggle because they're not as fit and as strong as he is. But Isagi's just excited to get into the next portion of Blue Lock, which is Blue Lock Man. Blue Lock Man is something that Isagi never thought he would see. It's a holographic, weird goalkeeper that actually works as a physical kind of being. And he never knew this thing even existed, or kind of the technology even existed, because he kicks out at Blue Lock Man and he could literally touch the ball. This blows his mind. Absolutely floors him. I mean, it's not like it's a hard thing for him to do and get through. He could easily score on Blue Lock Man, but it still surprises him. He's still pretty taken back by it, because it's like, how does this even happen? Like, how at all? And even with that said, it doesn't matter that much in the overall grand scheme of things. But Isagi finishes up relatively quickly, and he feels good about what he's done so far. I mean, at the end of the day, he's kind of already fitted to do everything he needs to do, and he's already done with what he needs to get done. And, well, that is literally what was in front of him. So he finishes off and finishes Blue Lock Man and defeats him by scoring his 90 or so goals. And he goes on to the next stage of this second selection. And the next stage of the second selection would be pretty interesting. But Isagi would be forced to wait on his own and wait for people to approach and come through the doorway. And the first person actually to come through, at least after Isagi, would be, well, Rin. Rin is an absolute monster on the field and an absolute just freak at being as good as he is. And Isagi doesn't know much about him, let's be honest, but he still wants to kind of figure out what he's capable of and so on. But he sees that Rin wants to go in ASAP, so he tells Isagi and someone else that walks through to go in with him now. But Isagi actually ends up refusing, saying that he has other players he'll play with. And Rin kind of is annoyed by this, because it's like, what is he even trying to build? Like, he's trying to have a connection with some of these other strikers. Like, come on, dude. Like, these are strikers. These are people that you're trying to compete against. But Rin would be annoyed and wait for the next person and walk away. Eventually, though, Isagi would wait for a couple people, and this would include Nagi. Nagi would approach him earlier than really anyone else, and Nagi would immediately say that he wants Isagi to join their team, but Isagi would kind of say that he doesn't really want to join their team. He's actually waiting for someone else, and it's really just whoever comes in first. It's going to either be Bachira or Chiguri or both. Ideally, he wants both on his team. And, well, Nagi says that, well, he'll join his team, but Isagi tells him again that maybe they'll find their way on the same team sooner rather than later. But right now, he kind of wants to avoid being on the same team as Nagi. He says it's nothing personal, but at the same time, he just wants to kind of team up with the people he wants to team up with at the end of the day. Nagi is a little bit annoyed, but he understands what he's saying and says that he guesses that he'll have to somehow play with or against him in the near future, and Isagi nods his head and agrees on that fact alone. Eventually, Chiguri and Bachira would show up, and he would join teams with them. And they would feel bad that they can't necessarily pick up someone like Kunigami or anyone else like Gagamaru, but at the end of the day, this is kind of the way it goes. They can't really do much about it. So they create their team, being that of Isagi, Bachira, and Chiguri, and frankly, this is a dream squad for what they want to do, because, well, the main thing they want to do is play at a high pace, play extremely fast, and just absolutely torch as many teams as possible and try to get out of this selection as quick as possible as well. Isagi even tells them that they will wipe through as many teams as they have to, and when they walk through those doors, they actually still only see one team. And this wouldn't surprise them necessarily, but because they didn't really see anybody else go through, but they see the team of Rin, Aru, and Tokumitsu, and this wouldn't shock Isagi necessarily by any means, but at least this is a pretty interesting chance to take on Rin and see what he's really capable of, because he can tell that he's talented, but Isagi knows that him and also the other people with him are basically able to outpace anybody. It doesn't matter who it is, anybody. And he's going to show them exactly what he's capable of and show them exactly what he can do. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to take on the team of Rin, Tokumitsu, and also Aru. And they're going to make sure that they dominate. But how will this game go? And will Rin really allow the domination of his own team against someone like Isagi? Well, you're gonna have to find out in the final part of what if Isagi was the perfect player. And if you enjoyed, as always, leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below. And if you're watching this on Spotify, leave a follow and a 5-star rating. Sorry this took so long to come out. I know I said this earlier that that I was taking a bit of a break. Actually, this half of this was recorded on a different day, because I recorded half of it and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take an extra day to just chill and figure some other stuff out. And then I finally got back to this. Is like almost 11 p.m. at night right now, so this is going up I believe on a Wednesday. And yeah, as always, if you enjoyed, I hope you all enjoyed. Show some love, you know how to do it. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. I don't know when part 3 will be out, probably sooner rather than later, maybe even the next day of when you're seeing this. But yeah, that's all I gotta say, and I hope all y'all have an amazing day, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and peace out.